How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Old Ranch Garage. Today's a big day for me. I'm going to get started for the about 50th time on the 351 Windsor build for the Foxbody project. So I'll bring you all in and show you some more about the project here in a second, because I know I briefly touched on it in my intro video. But I got some parts came in finally, so some of the things that I've been waiting on for a long time now that I just didn't buy because I decided to save money and not spend money on projects. But I'm back at it. So I just got some push rods in. I got some rocker arm studs because my poly locks weren't seating properly, and pistons. So I found out my piston valve clearance was bad a little while back, so that put the project to a halt. But I finally got my pistons. They will be here tomorrow. So don't have them yet. Fingers crossed and toes that they're here tomorrow, and we'll get this motor put back together. So in this video, I'm gonna start tearing down the small block again and get it ready for pistons to come in, and then I'm gonna do some work on the heads, and I'll bring y'all in and show you that. I'm gonna swap out those rocker studs, I'm gonna pull all the valves out, and I'm gonna check my valve seats. They should be good. The heads don't have a lot of miles on them, but I'm gonna check them. And there is an issue with these heads. They're trick flow heads. I'll bring y'all in and show you that. I'm gonna do some little machine work with the Dremel on it. Not really machine work, hillbilly machine work. Same with the block. I'm gonna do some oil passage work on it. So it'll be a cool video, show you all a little bit of a small block build, and you'll get to see it come all back together because, well, I gotta take the whole thing apart to put the pistons in now. So let me show you all a little more on the project with the Mustang itself, and then I'll bring you into the motor. So here's a look at the Foxbody. Pardon the ice and snow. It is winter, but very clean car. Original paint in decent shape. Hood's not great, but the sides pretty good. I've buffed it before, I'll do it again. Original top in, it doesn't leak shape. The white color's not the greatest. So the car already has low ring springs, tubular control arms, a Thunderbird Turbo Coupe rear end with 373 gears and disc brake conversion. She's been sitting a minute, but so we got that going on with it. It's sitting on 245 tires. Really clean car. Inside is in incredible shape. No cracks on the dash, really good shape, original white seats and door panels. So, thing about the car, if you notice it's an automatic, well, knock all the ice cubes off here. She's also a 4-cylinder. So, she's a low mile car though. It was 75,000 when I got it. I think it's about 100 now because I cruised it for a long time. Little 4-cylinder dud, and that is the reason for building the Windsor. So she's gonna get swapped soon. Plan with it is just to be a fun street cruiser, and maybe I'll take it out and do some hard tire drag racing because I don't want to get crazy with the wheel wells in the back. I'm gonna keep probably the 245s on it. So she'll be a fun little rig once it's all said and done. But for now, it is a slow 4-cylinder. But that's changing in the spring. So I gave you all a basic rundown on the Foxbody. Nothing crazy going on with that car. Well, here's crazy to go in it soon enough. So start of this project was 2019 when I got the motor. It is now January of 23 to tell you how long it's been. But I bought the motor out of a marketplace truck that was an old farm truck that had low mileage on it. So it's a good candidate for me. And another key thing about that was it's the block I wanted. And when I say that, I mean these 351 Windsors came in roller and non-roller, and that changed in during production years. So they flipped at some year mark. Can't remember the year. And also, the earlier blocks had a higher nickel content and were much stronger blocks. So, 1969, first year 351 Windsor, strongest block out there. This block in particular is 1972, so it's a flat tappet cam block, and it is one of the stronger blocks out there. So that's why I went for this one, and it was a great candidate for me. It was in really good shape, so I tore the whole thing down. I got it to bare block, cleaned everything, pressure wash, soaped, yada yada, and got it painted pretty decent. I actually had somebody the other day tell me they thought it was a new block, so that made me happy. But when I tore it down, I re-bearinged, resealed, I did stock bearing sizes and bore because the block was in such good shape. Now I did measure everything. Everything was well within spec of Ford. Ford does have a pretty wide spec on these engines. because they were just a old school work truck engine for what they were designed for. Pardon me if I'm sniffling. It's like 28 degrees out, and I don't have heat in here, so yeah. So you can see my breath. On to the motor again. Yeah, so I got everything back to stock. I polished the crank though. No, didn't take any metal off. Just polished it to get any sort of scoring that was out of it. I honed the cylinder walls and installed all new bearings, cranks back in it, pistons, rods, yada yada, all in it. New rings, of course, and stock pistons. One thing I did to the block, like I said, it's a flat tappet. Well, they make conversion lifters for these. So these right here are link bar hydraulic roller lifters. They convert your flat tappet block to a roller block. And they do it without that weird spider thing Ford had that went in here and it forked the lifters. And that's what held them from rotating in your bore, because obviously you don't want a roller bearing going crooked on you. So don't have that junk spider thing. I got these nice link bars, and them suckers expensive, alright? Paid more for them than the motor by twice. So got those in there, and with that I'm able to run a large cam rather than with the spiders you can only run a small base circle cam. So I got a full base circle cam in here. It's a Comp XE282HR. She's in there right now with all new bearings as well. That's kind of where the project sat. So now, of course, all new timing stuff, timing sets in there, double roller. Yeah, kind of where she sat. So I've had heads for the project forever. The head's got valves, springs, rockers, all that in it. Only thing I was really waiting on in this motor was push rods and an intake manifold. Now my thing was, when I went to measure for push rods, I knew I was going to have piston valve clearance issues. So I got trick flow heads with the canted valves. So they come in at a different angle than factory valves. And then I also have that big old comp cam in there. It's got big duration and big lift. Those two right there are what combine to give you piston valve clearance issues. It's not just your lift, it's your duration as well. So turns out I do have piston valve clearance issues. I just checked that about a month back. That was when I was deciding what I wanted to do with the project. Do I want to now put a stroker kit in it, yada yada. And I stuck with my roots. It's a budget build. Everything about this motor has been budget from the start, same with the Mustang. It's all junkyard used parts that I refurbish and make like new. Now, the car handles great with those parts that are on it. So hopefully this motor performs great too. So I decided to go with some DSS forged pistons. Those are on the way. Like I said, they'll be here tomorrow, hopefully. I also have my trick flow push rods I just got in the mail. Some rocker studs, because my rocker studs were the wrong length, causing my poly locks to not work. So in this video I'm going to be tearing this thing down all the way and swapping out these pistons. Obviously to do that, whole motor's got to come apart. Yes, I could leave the crank in and I could slide the pistons past it, but stop. No, it's just, why? It's not worth it. I'm not scratching up that crank that I just polished. So I'm going to tear the whole sucker apart and get that set. I know there's some more I need to do up under this pan. I can't even remember if the pickup tube's in there. I know the oil pump is taken apart right now because I had to file the backing plate for the oil pump for clearance. I don't think I put it back in. So I know that's got to come back off anyways. Only thing I'm leaving in is the cam. No sense taking that sucker out. Don't want to scratch those bearings. It's already teeth clenching enough to slide them suckers in with new bearings. So, and obviously I don't have the tools to properly put cams in. They got that 14-foot rod they put on the end to get yet. Nope. I just held on to it and pushed it in. It'll be fine. So yeah, I'm going to get started here. I think I'm going to start on the heads first, tearing them things down, getting them filed down, because pistons won't be here till tomorrow anyways. So let's bring you all in. Alright, so in here with the heads, I'm going to start off removing the valve springs, and just to give you all a little info here, just broke my camera stand trying to set it up over here. So you're currently vice gripped to a horse saddle over on the saddle rack. So that's good. You know, these are the legs. We don't need those. So on with the heads, we will start popping off these valve springs. So I just got this tool. Last one I did, I don't even remember how I got it off. I had a couple, adult beverages in me and just start popping it off. But I do remember the valve locks, or the spring retainers, went flying across the shop. So that was fun. So we're going to try not to let that happen this time. And we're going to try to just get it apart, you know, properly. So let's see, poly lock going on here. Probably not supposed to use the poly lock for this. So we're going to anyways. Yeah, that doesn't fit at all. I should probably put a washer under that. But I'd have to walk all the way across the shop for that, which is 4 feet away. Yeah, that'll work. Grab me a needle nose pliers to get them retainers. Alright. Yeah, so like I said, it's the first time I've ever had a valve compressor. I've always just used redneck science to get them out. What? What is... You... Just take them off. You see the tips on there? Junk. Let me find another pair of pliers. Where are you? What in the... What? I don't know. Okay. Well, all my needle nose ran away. So I got these ones that are 14 feet long and have bent tips. That'll work fine. No, maybe we just compress them extra and go in here with the phalanges and try to lose them. Nope. Technical difficulties. I'll be right back. Well, look, I found a pair with a good tip. It's definitely not the same pair as earlier that I just took a grinder to. Definitely would not do that on a high performance engine build like this. What is you? Got one. They're running away from me. I hate when they do that. One thing I forgot on this other one is, when you're doing this, your valves are gonna, well, they're gonna go down. And they got, let's see, that far before they hit the table. For one, I don't want to be shoving them into the table with this, risk bending them. So, it's just a wood table. But I have the perfect contraption designed to keep from your valves falling down. It also makes it easier to get them retainers out. And it's the perfect tool. It's made for it, I promise. Yeah. 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 So it's just perfect. You can find it on Summit. It's made for, you can just, you know, it'll be in the description, I promise. And yeah, you just take that tool and you put it right underneath there. Right under the valve. Alright, that'll stop that valve from going down. We can continue taking them out. But that one there gave me technical difficulties. So we're going to ignore it and pretend it's not there. Down below here, still got my tool. And now we're moved on to a different one that's not giving me technical difficulties. So that other one, it's more than likely the valve tip is somehow stuck to the retainers. I'll pop it with a mallet, rubber mallet, and it'll probably break it loose. We'll just do that in a second, though. So, by the way, this poly lock I'm using, I have spares. I'm probably not going to use this one on the motor. And also, this getting stuck on the stud, not the biggest deal because I am replacing these studs. I almost lost an eyeball. Alright, let's continue. Leave a gap for that one. Alright. Get on back to it. Realistically, if I didn't want that to get stuck, I wouldn't lay it down like that. I'm probably going to leave it up like this time and see what happens. Science. That's what we call this. And that one's stuck too. Oh, pop free. So yeah, this one did the same thing that other one was doing. It was getting stuck on the valve tip. It has broken free though. Now if I could just see, the problem is I ain't getting enough push down when I don't lay the spring retainer all the way. You know, why you gotta fight me? I let you sit for 4 years and you're gonna fight me like this? You little devil. I just can't even get my arms in here. Got 14 layers on. Yup. That fell right down the head bolt hole. Cool. Oh, yep, it's under there. There she is. What? Explain to me how that just happened. Well, I got that there stud figured out. It did have a nick in the threads, and I tightened on the poly lock right onto that nick, got it tight, and then I guess pulled the stud back out with it, so it wasn't tightened down enough. Got it back in there, got that apart. Now I'm working on these ones that had the retainers sticking up to the valve stem. So I beat on them a little bit with mallet, not doing much, so I went on, got a spark plug socket, put it right on top there, gave her a good couple whacks. Not far, not too hard or too far, because I'm sitting on a table, I don't want to push them down into it, but it popped it free. Alright, well, my spark plug socket beating it on that side worked for here. These other two were being stubborn, so I messed around with it a little bit and I got one pop loose. And then I'm going to show you on the second one and see if it happens. So all I did was flip the head on its side and tap the spring with a mallet while I was putting some pressure on it. I'll show you. I even had to get out the BFH here. And really it's not that big, but it didn't do the job either. So I also completely forgot that it's easier to remove the retainers with a magnet sometimes, so now I got my magnet instead of my janky needle nose pliers. Alright, got this one all set back up now. So when I go and give her a pry, the retainer sticks to the spring, to the valve, whatever it's sticking to is stuck, okay? That's the key. So I'm going to flip my head on its side here, and pardon if y'all can't see. Like I said, camera stand broken. So I'm going to pry on it with the left hand here, and then give her a tap with the mallet here, and I'm not going to be able to fit it in that valve pocket, so we'll just be using the corner. And you'll hear an audible pop when she pops loose. At least I did on the other one. We'll see if this one works. I'm learning with y'all here. What in tarnation? Stuff's falling. It's not working. I don't want to beat on it too much harder. Don't want to bend a valve. So I need to sit back and think. I know a good way of doing it's with a big old C-clamp. I can hold that C-clamp here, tighten it down on the valve spring, and it'll pop. But, well, I don't have one. Or it went missing. So I'm either going to sit here and think, or I'm going to run down to Hobo Freight and, hey, give me a new orange beading mallet here. Because I don't even know what I was beating on. Something. I'll be back. Alright, y'all. I sat back, thought about it, played with it for a while. I couldn't get the brake free, so I went down to Hobo Freight. I got me a new orange death beater. Almost on the toe. And got me a big old 8-inch C-clamp. So I'm going to hook the C-clamp up. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook it on the valve retainer, which is not the valve itself, the black circle on top. Hook it on there. Hook it on the back side of the valve. I am going to put my, specialty tool from earlier on the back side of the valve so I don't mess it up. Alright. Get off of there. Anybody know the right way to do this? Let me know, because I hate it. And it always takes me a year. There just ain't a proper way, is there? Good thing I went in with the 8-inch sucker. I tried to save 30 cents and looked at the 6-incher. Oh. Yep, too much now. Sounds right. Gonna get sucker on there. Get her on here, and you know what? I'm gonna put a socket on there. But I ain't hear no pop, it's just going though. I figure it should have popped by now, or maybe it did and I just didn't hear it. And it's about to slide off and cause damage. Cool, love it. Yep. Moses! Well, I need a new 11/16 socket because that one went to Narnia. Yep. Alright. 1,400 tools later, trip to Hobo Freight and various other words I can't say. It's apart. I'll bring y'all in here now. We'll get a look at these combustion chambers, the valve seats, and see what's going on. Howdy y'all, it's a few days later now, and I started editing the video, and I realized entirely too long. It was coming out before editing about 2 hours. I knocked it down a little bit, but it was too much. So I'm going to decide to make this a two-part video. I already got the heads fully assembled there, and all the porting and polishing work done, but the porting and polishing work is going to be a separate video, as well as the assembly. Those two videos are probably going to be combined. So it's probably a two-part series on the heads. Number one's just going to be tearing them down. Nothing crazy there, nothing too exciting. But I am going to post that video up here soon, and then shortly to come will be the other video. Since it is already done, I just need to edit it, which shouldn't take more than a couple hours. But so stay tuned for that video to come. It'll be posted probably within the day of this video that you are watching now. So if you guys liked it, there's going to be a lot more interesting stuff, and we'll actually get into some flow characteristics on these heads. So stay tuned for that, and you'll get to see some of that. And as far as the engine goes, well, I got it turned upside down now, but I'm going to start filming tearing that down. That's going to be a separate video too. So these videos got a little long, but hey, I'm a long-winded person. So stay tuned for the next video, guys. Please subscribe and like the video. You subscribe, it'll show up in your notifications when I post that one. And when I post this engine one, if you guys are liking what you're seeing. So I'd really appreciate it, and it'd give me some more motivation to keep these videos coming at a more consistent pace. So have a great day, y'all, and get working on them projects.